How many of you have seen that marijuana is starting to become legal in many states? Places like Colorado, California, and Washington have all legalized both recreational and medical use of marijuana. Since other places are still strict on this, many people are still being punished for it by serving time in jail while others are completely free to use this. Since America does have a problem with overpopulation within its prison systems, I think that legalizing the drug will help reduce the number and ultimately solve the overpopulation problem. Looking at how marijuana is being used and what the different cannabinoids are and how it compares to the substances such as alcohol and tobacco, I think that legalizing the substance within the United States will help depopulate the prisons in America. Today I will be discussing how the different things marijuana is composed of is used in different substances, and finally how the substances used, such as alcohol and tobacco, compared to the use of marijuana, to explain why making it legal could help with the overpopulation problem. First, marijuana can be created into 3 different cannabinoids. These things are created out of the plant. The first cannabinoid that is made from marijuana will be hemp oil. This comes from the plant itself and does not have any psychoactive properties. It is simply only the oil of the hemp seeds. The second cannabinoid that can be produced is CBD. This is the relaxing component of the plant and helps with people with anxiety, depression, and sleep issues. And it actually has 2 subparts that most people don't know about. It's called CBDA and CBDV, and these both affect the body in different ways. The third cannabinoid that is produced by marijuana is THC, and this is the psychoactive part of the plant. A lot of people who use this are usually people who undergo chemotherapy, and that's because it helps eliminate nausea, which is often a side effect of chemotherapy. There are also 2 subparts to it, just like CBD, that people don't know about, which is THCA and THCV, that affect the body in different ways. Now that we have talked about all the different cannabinoids that can be produced from the marijuana plant, we're also going to talk about the specific uses that those cannabinoids can be used for within daily things. The first one is beauty products that are sold on stores' shelves. These usually contain hemp oil because it's very nourishing to the body's skin and the scalp. The second use is medical marijuana. This is a type of marijuana that is usually used from the cannabinoid CBD, and it's because it's very relaxing and can help with medical problems. And the third is the recreational use of marijuana, which often involves the cannabinoid THC. Now that we have looked at the different types of cannabinoids and uses that marijuana can be used for, we're going to look at how it compares to the 2 substances, alcohol and tobacco, that are legalized within the United States today. So both alcohol and tobacco have negative effects on the body. First, if someone consumes too much alcohol, they can cause extreme damage to their liver, and honestly, alcohol addiction can affect someone's life in a very negative way, and that is why there are things such as AA meetings. Tobacco is also a very negative drug that can also affect the body. Most people smoke tobacco, and that's entering the lungs, and that can also damage the lungs. And also, tobacco is very addictive. There are things out right now like e-cigarettes and vapes and also patches that are trying to help eliminate the problem of addiction within tobacco. However, they're still as negative as just smoking a cigarette. So, being able to compare these 2 substances to the drug marijuana, we can all see that they have a very similar negative aspects to them. They all have the common possibility of being a gateway to other substances because each of them can be just as addictive. Not only that, but they also have negative effects on the body. So the question that comes is, why are those substances legal within the United States but not marijuana? What I think the reason for this could be is that there has been a stigma around the drug. The use of marijuana was actually introduced within the 1930s by Mexican immigrants, and thinking about the 1930s, that was during the Great Depression. And since that was a time of fear because of money and everything, people were actually afraid that these people were going to steal their jobs, and ultimately created a stigma around the drug. So even though that there were many different benefits to it, such as helping people with medical problems and mental illnesses. Finally, Marijuana can also help solve the overcrowding problem, being able to legalize it, I should say. Dark Jakovic from CannabisOffers.net stated that almost 600,000 people per year get charged with marijuana-related charges. Being able to legalize the drug would ultimately just reduce that number greatly and help start to reduce the problem of overpopulation. To review, there are many different substances that can be created from marijuana and the cannabinoids, such as CBD, THC, and hemp oil. The things that can be made out of it are products such as beauty products like shampoos, conditioners, and oils for the body. The medical use of marijuana, which involves the CBD cannabinoid, and the recreational use of marijuana, which involves the THC cannabinoid. Not only that, but marijuana can ultimately help the overpopulation problem that America is facing. Yes, one might say that there are many negatives and downsides to this drug. However, as we talked about, alcohol and tobacco also have many different negative aspects to it. So I hope you can see that there are a lot less negatives compared to benefits. In conclusion, I hope that you can see how marijuana is beneficial to not only people, but also to America's prison systems. I hope you can consider legalizing the use of both medical and recreational use of marijuana within the United States.